Hey everyone, it's Vay, and I'm making this video with my face because I figured, given what has happened, I figured it'd be nice to have a little face-to-face. So, where the hell am I? I got the one gaming video on my YouTube channel, I chat on my Discord, and I occasionally post on Blue Sky and the YouTube community post. Where the hell have I been? Dealing with real life, because over the past few months, it has literally and metaphorically punched me in the gut. Let me explain. My mother, great lady, she had decided to quit smoking and officially took her last puff in mid-May. And we knew that she was going to start experiencing some nicotine withdrawal symptoms, and she got them. They just kept getting worse and worse and worse. On the 24th of August, her and I had a conversation, and she said that she would likely need to be taken to the hospital because she was having major trouble sleeping, as well as the extreme fatigue because of the lack of sleep, and light to mild breathing difficulties. And at around 1 a.m. on the 27th of August, I made the call to 911. And just a few hours later, I was told that she had a pleural effusion, which essentially is fluid building up on an outer layer of lung, which can cause difficulty breathing. This was developing on her right lung, like on the bottom of her right lung. So I thought, yay, it's basically a form of pneumonia. So they tapped her lung, and she came home on the 30th. But, but, before that, on the 29th at around 1 a.m., I received a call that basically shattered my world. She called me at 1 a.m. to tell me that the doctors said that they saw a malignant neoplasm of her upper right lung. And for those of you who are not fancy knowledgeable on medical terms, they basically told her that she has a form of lung cancer. The official report says malignant neoplasm of upper lobe's right bronchus or lung, which is basically the right lobe, and the pleural effusion was identified as malignant. I looked this up, and the pleural effusion was caused by the cancer. So I thought, great, she has lung cancer. What are the chances? It shocked my world, and I spent that afternoon on the 29th up with her at the hospital and just talking. Just talking about stuff. That's when I got the paperwork that mentions the diagnosis related and unrelated to the cancer. And she would likely be put on hospice. She came home on the 30th, like I said. And for a while, she was fine, but not too long afterwards, she was starting to have trouble breathing, even with the oxygen supply that we have. And on the 9th, I had to call 911 again because of chronic insomnia. And I went up there with her. And when we were up there on the 9th at the hospital, that's when we found out what type of cancer it was. It was a type of non-small cell lung cancer called adenocarcinoma, which affects the linings of the lungs. I'll leave a link in the description for those of you who are curious. Viewer discretion is advised. And the doctors had given her 6 months. And both her and I knew that was an overstatement. So she was eventually put on hospice care. At-home hospice care after she came home about a week later. For a while, she was alright. Occasional issues here and there. And I essentially became her almost 24/7 caregiver. If she would need me, she would call me even when I was asleep. And I became more and more of her caregiver during the latter half of September, and into October, which I'll explain a bit more here shortly. And we also had a conversation, and she decided almost immediately that she was not going to be doing chemo, which I fully understand her decisions. She was also not going to do radiation, but she was willing to do anything else. But after a while, we decided to completely forego any and all treatments. She was approved for Keytruda, but we decided, again, it would only just end up delaying the inevitable. And both her and I wanted her to finally be painless and go to sleep the natural way. So we put her on. She signed a DNR, and we went from there. Over the course of late September, her condition was slowly starting to get worse. And it was also around that time I was starting the long and tedious process of getting my ass support for the future. Support for a living and whatnot. Getting a new home, maybe. Stuff like that. And getting into contact with old friends of mine who have been a huge support. But over the course of late September, her condition was starting to deteriorate. And it was on late September, and it was on October 1st where we just had to take her to the hospital again because her condition had deteriorated to the point where the hospice nurses thought that she was in the transitioning of passing away at the time because she was having tremendous difficulty with breathing. And eventually, on the 1st, she was put into a respite nursing home. Because it was originally supposed to be for 5 days because I was having major problems getting the sleep I need, and my mental and emotional state was actually starting to quickly decline. Because, not blaming her, I was often waking up after like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, if that, to help her with her medicines and whatnot. And oftentimes I just couldn't get back to sleep. And also, me seeing her in the terrible condition she was at was also gravely affecting my mental health. So eventually, we were scheduled for the respite, but due to complications with the transportation, that's when we took her to the hospital. And thankfully, they were able to get her into the respite we had chosen out, which happens to be not too far from where I live. So I finally started getting some decent sleep. My mind was starting to recover and heal. And I spent Thursday and Friday for much of the day just being with her. On Monday the 6th, I received a call from one of the hospice nurses saying that I should go up there to visit her again because her condition majorly deteriorated over the course of overnight, essentially. I originally wasn't going to visit her until the 7th because I had some important stuff to do on the 6th. But after I received that call, I trusted my gut feeling and I went up to see her, and her condition, as I said, made a complete 180. It was essentially, she was likely going to pass away within the week. So I spent some time just being with her. I didn't even have to talk to her because there was nothing to say. So I left a little while later to do the things I wanted to do, which was banking shit. I gave her a kiss on the forehead. I told her, I love you, and if you feel it's time, it's time. Not even 2 hours after I left at 5 in the afternoon, in the middle of my local Walmart, I got the call from the nurses that she had passed away. In the middle of Walmart, and I surprisingly took it well. Though I suppose it was 'cause I had an emotional episode the week prior, and I got it all in my system. So yeah, my mother is, as of the 6th of October, is no longer on this world. She's here with us. I got an urn and 2 necklaces, including this one we both chose out because She chose a blue urn, and this necklace has a blue gem in it. I have absolutely no idea if you can see it. There is also another necklace that has a bird-like wing. I don't know what bird. For all I know, it's an angel wing. But yeah, she had passed away on the 9th, the 6th, sorry, and she is no longer with us. I'm still in the middle of getting some things straightened out. I'm still trying to fix my banking issue. I'm still gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for housing, which is so far on my side for now. And eventually I'll end up posting more videos. But for right now, I got real life shit to worry about. Because if I didn't, I'd be on the fucking streets. And I don't think you would like me filming my next video outside in the middle of winter. I don't think you would want that. But yeah, I just basically wanted to address where the hell I've been and address my YouTube audience who is not on my Discord server, link in the description. Where am I and what has happened? But to sum it all up, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and passed away a little over a month later. She was a hell of a mother, 64 years old, and she will be missed. Alright, thank you for listening and watching this video, if indeed you still are. And if you enjoy what I do and want to support me for the future, please leave a like and comment down below. And if you really want to see what more I can do, especially since I plan on uploading and streaming more gaming content in between my animations, then tap the subscribe button down there below so you can join and stay caught up on all my uploads. Well, that's it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.